Hi Shivang, welcome to the Kunzum Travel Cafe.
Hi Ajay, how are you?
Very well, thanks. So we know the kings of the jungle are the tigers and the lions, but I have with me the emperor of the jungle. For those of you who don't know, Shivang Mehta spends his life in the jungles, shooting and taking many of us along to actually capture the wildlife in its truest sense. If you want to go to the wilds, Shivang is the guy that you should go with, and his company Nature Wanderers. So, Shivang, I've been trying to go to Africa for years, and you spend half your life in Africa.
Not half my life. I spend around a month every year, and
Okay.
it's during this time, in the month of August, I'm there every year,
Okay.
and it's a very exciting time to be in Africa because it's a migration time in the month of August, and there's ample amount of wildlife to shoot. I consider it to be the mecca of wildlife when it comes to wildlife photography.
So, the thing is, when we plan to go to Africa, it's not easy, to say the least. There are so many myths that Africa is surrounded with, right? What is the first myth that we need to really kind of overcome?
I think I keep on getting a lot of queries pertaining to Africa travel and people who want to come with me. And the first kind of question which people raise is that, especially if someone is interested in photography and all. So, a person thinks that, I've just started photography, so probably I'll just start nature photography with Indian parks and stuff, and then probably I'll graduate to a place like Africa. I would actually say it should be the other way around, because if you consider places in India, say any place like Corbett or any popular tiger destination or even the birding destinations across India, our forests are very dense, and it becomes quite tough to see wildlife at times. Just a case of a simple tiger sighting, there may be times where your camera is just coming out packed from a game drive. So I feel Masai Mara, for example, is probably the best training ground for any amateur photographer who wants to learn wildlife photography or who wants to start nature photography. Because there are ample amount of opportunities to shoot. There's so much of scope as far as experimentation is concerned. You can try a lot of things. If you fail, you'll get it again. Even things like, say, a cheetah running at 150 odd kilometers per hour. If you miss that shot, there are chances you'll get it again in that 1 week which you're spending there. So at the end of that week, you are a much confident photographer to work in places like India where those moments are very rare.
Okay, so unlike popular perception, Kenya is actually for amateurs and India is for the more seasoned photographers in the wild.
You can say that.
Yeah.
It's, your personal morale and your confidence is boosted quite a bit when you are shooting there.
Yeah. Okay. And the other thing is, when we think of Africa, it's like when we think of Indian parks, it's all about the tiger, or that's what people go for. Right. When people go to Africa, they only talk about the big five.
Right.
Is it all about the big five?
Well, I think, yes, Africa is about the big five, but the thought should not stop there, because seeing the big five in a place like Masai Mara or some of the African parks, Kenyan parks, for example, it's not a big deal at all. Apart from the black rhino, things are very easily seen. Probably there may be times where within probably an hour you'll see the entire big five. Africa is more about action.
Okay.
Seeing this entire big five in action. So probably seeing a lion in action in terms of a hunt sequence, or cubs playing, or seeing a cheetah running in full sprint, or the great migration, wildebeest crossing the Mara River. So there's so much of action out there, and that is what gives a boost to the images which people take. That is why whenever we see African images on the internet, we feel that it's all about action. It's action packed. It's about light. Africa is all about light. Places like Masai Mara and all, they receive some divine light in the morning and evening.
Okay.
And seeing wildlife in that kind of a light, that is what people should aim for.
And is Africa really as expensive as it is made out to be when it comes to wildlife safaris?
It all depends on your budget. I mean, everything in a place like Kenya can be planned according to whatever money you have in your pocket.
Okay.
So, so if we consider a place like Masai Mara, for example, if I try to explain you the dynamics of Mara, it's a huge park. So it's a massive park, and there are a lot of private lodges and all to stay in the periphery of the park, and they're all very nice, swanky lodges with all facilities and stuff. So that is an option to stay. But during a time like migration, where we are all looking for action, because that is the action time, this period of July, August, September, during these 3-4 months when wildebeest are crossing the river and the prey base is following them. There's so much of action out there. The trick is to stay somewhere near to the river.
Okay.
And if you are staying somewhere near the river, then you have to look for a campsite. So, I mean, you can equate it to a place like Corbett. There are so many places to stay outside the park.
Yeah.
But there's only one Dikala.
Okay.
And, the charm of going to Corbett is staying in Dikala.
Okay.
Where as soon as you're out of the campsite, you are just right there in the heart of the park.
Okay.
So catching the early morning light, evening light, you save a lot of time in traveling and commuting when you're going for your daily jain trip.
Sure.
So, but yes, if you're staying near to the river, the prices go up.
Okay.
And if you're staying in any of the lodges, you'll get it at a cheaper price.
Okay.
So a lot depends on what kind of purpose you are visiting Masai Mara.
Sure.
If it is a photography purpose, I would recommend you stay near the riverside. If budget is becoming constrained, you can probably join any of these photography tours where like-minded people go together. So the cost is split there.
Sure.
But if it is a family-oriented trip, say a couple is going with children and all these things, then you can afford staying somewhere, a good lodge or something like that. Spend lesser time in Masai Mara, probably just a 3-4 nights kind of a thing, and then spend the remaining time in a place like Naivasha or something where even the kids can have a bit of fun.
Okay.
So the itineraries and all can all be customized according to the purpose of travel.
Sure. So I think so that busts 3 myths. Number one, Kenya is not just for professional and seasoned photographers. It's actually a great learning ground for amateurs.
Exactly.
Number one. Number two, it's not about spotting the big 5. That's the easy part. The challenge is to catch them in action.
Right.
And number 3, it's not necessarily an expensive place to go to. There's something for every budget.
And it's a great place for children as well.
Okay.
Because, in a lot of programs which I lead to Africa,
yeah.
I've seen nowadays parents have started getting the children in because they feel that this is one place where exposure to wildlife is much easier as compared. Probably a child may get bored in an Indian safari, but if something is happening in Masai Mara on a daily basis.
Okay.
It will be very rare that nothing happens out there during the entire day.
Okay. So that sounds good. That puts me and many of our viewers in the comfort zone. So I'm going to come back to you and you're going to help me plan an itinerary now.
Sure.
Right? Thank you, Shivang. We'll be back.
Thanks, Ajay.